it's Madison. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. If you are new to my channel, like I said, my name is Madison. I am a weight loss influencer who has lost over 50 pounds, and I've made it my life mission to empower other women to take control of their weight and their life in the exact same way that I have. I am super passionate about weight loss because my decision to start taking care and control of my weight and my health spiraled into a series of decisions that changed my entire life. When I started my weight loss journey, I lived 500 miles from where I live now. I was in a very unhappy, toxic relationship, and now I am happily engaged to my soulmate. I had a kind of strained, hectic relationship with my children because I struggled so badly with just always feeling an immense amount of sadness and low energy that my motherhood journey has improved drastically since I started my weight loss journey. I have had a complete career change from being an unfulfilled stay-at-home mom to fulfilling my dream of working on social media full-time for myself so that I can provide for my family financially while still being able to make being the primary parent to my kids my number one job and number one priority in life. Long-winded intro to say I have changed my life through weight loss, and I want to teach you to do the same. One thing that made me super successful in my weight loss journey was stopping with fad diets, with extreme restriction, and also with things that can be healthy like calorie counting, macro counting, but just didn't work for me and weren't sustainable. When I went into my weight loss journey, I knew that I wanted it to be the last time I ever started something. I wanted it to be something that I could do for life. So I made sure that anything I did was something that I would be willing to do for my entire life. And calorie counting and macro counting or point counting were just simply not things that I was willing to do for the rest of my life. So I wanted to learn to eat more intuitively. Now, with that being said, I do follow a kind of structured method of intuitive eating through the nutrition program that I follow, but I had to heavily work on my mindset around food during this journey. And today I wanted to share with you 5 of my top mindset tips around eating, and specifically when you are eating out, when you are in situations where you are doing something outside of the norm, you are at a family party, you are out at a restaurant, you are on vacation, whatever the case may be, but when you are in a situation where you are not in your own kitchen and you need to know how can I stay on track with my weight loss goals, but also enjoy myself and live my life. Here are my top 5 tips. Number 1, always keep in mind what are your current goals. Because as I said, when you are on a weight loss journey, your weight loss journey should, in my opinion, not be a means to an end. You should not be on a weight loss journey so that you can see 130, 150, whatever your goal is on the scale. Your goal should be that your weight loss journey becomes a lifelong health journey. And yes, at some point along the way, you will hit your weight loss goal, but that should not be the end of that journey. So I always keep in mind, what are my current goals? Because I know that those are going to shift and change over my life. Is my current goal to lose 2 pounds this week? Is my current goal to maintain my weight? Is my current goal to gain some muscle mass? And I also highly encourage you to think of a goal that is smaller and more attainable in a shorter amount of time. Again, we can set goals as we go throughout the journey. So we don't want to always be focused on, my goal is to lose 100 pounds. My goal is to lose 50 pounds or 20 pounds. We want to create smaller goals that have a smaller timeline. So for example, I want to lose 5 pounds by the end of September. Now, when we have those smaller goals, we can think in the moment when we are about to choose what we are going to eat. Let's, for the sake of this video, use eating out, going out to dinner as an example throughout this video. So when I'm out at dinner and I'm about to order my food and my drinks, I'm gonna think to myself, what are my current short-term goals? Because as I said, those are gonna fluctuate, and therefore we're gonna have seasons where we need to be a little more strict in our nutrition, and that's okay. But we're also gonna have seasons where we can be a little more lenient with our nutrition. So make sure that the way you're ordering is aligned with those current goals. If you are in a season of more strict nutrition, that is not something that is going to last forever. And I want to stress that and make sure that you keep that in mind all of the time when you are eating intuitively. This season of maybe being a little more strict in your nutrition is not something that is going to be lifelong, and therefore you don't need to stress as much about it. That goes into my second mindset tip, which is there will always be another opportunity. So when you are out at dinner, keep in mind, this is not the last time you are ever gonna go out to dinner. This is not the last time you are ever gonna go to a Mexican restaurant. This is not the last time you are ever gonna have a chance to order that martini that you want. This is not your last opportunity. So keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that that means you don't need to overindulge, which goes into my third mindset tip, which is if I want to enjoy some of the things, I can't enjoy all of the things. And when you are ordering at a restaurant, when you are eating out a lot on vacation, any of those sort of things, this is my number one tip to keep in mind, and something that helps me so much as someone who travels often, goes on date nights with my fiance often, things like that. I am always reminding myself I can enjoy some things, but if I enjoy everything, that is not going to be aligned with my goals. It is going to make me feel bad physically and mentally, which we will talk about a little bit more later. But you don't need to have everything at the same time. You can enjoy the appetizers, you can enjoy the drinks, you can enjoy the most indulgent, delicious looking entree on the menu, but you don't need to do all of those things at once, because there will always be another opportunity to have what you didn't have today. Another little saying that you can tell yourself is delay, don't deny. So right now in that moment, if you do want to have that really indulgent entree, but you kind of also wanted to have 2 margaritas tonight, you kind of also wanted to have that really yummy appetizer, think to yourself, I am delaying, I'm not denying. I'm not telling myself I can't have 2 drinks tonight. I'm not telling myself that I can't have that appetizer. I'm telling myself tonight I'm choosing the really indulgent entree, so next time I go out, maybe I'll get a salad so that I can enjoy that appetizer and those drinks. I also love those catchy little sayings that I can say to myself in my head, like delay, don't deny, or if you want some of the things, you can't have all of the things. I always keep those in my head so I can repeat them over and over to myself, and they're really easy to remember in those moments where you might feel like you're having a little bit of a weakness. Tip number 4, and this one is very, very specific to being out to eat or in a situation where you might find yourself really tempted to overindulge. And for me, and for what I find with my clients, the times where you are really tempted to overindulge do tend to be when you're out to eat, when you're on vacation, when you're on a work trip, when you are at a family member's house for a holiday or a birthday or something like that. And in those moments, I want you to ask yourself, what am I going to remember about this experience? And that is a really deep question, especially if you have or do struggle with disordered eating, is I want you to think about what will you remember about this experience. So if we're using, again, that restaurant example, are you going to remember the people that were there with you? Are you going to remember, walking in and those laughs you were sharing and the conversations you were having, and maybe sharing some really deep things with the people you love, and maybe seeing someone for the first time in a while, or getting away from the kids to spend that really intimate time with your spouse for the first time in a while? Are you going to remember those things? Yes, of course you are. Are you going to remember what you ate and what you ordered? Absolutely not. When you look back in a year on that selfie that you took with your husband, what are you going to remember about that night? And I want you to keep that in mind. And that goes into my last and final mindset shift. I could honestly do a million of these, and there is so many that I have come up with over the past couple of years that I have been on my own weight loss journey, but I thought I would just share 5 with you today so you don't get super overwhelmed and make these a little bit more specific to that eating outside of your own kitchen category. So number 5 is long-term over short-term satisfaction. And this may seem like the most simple, obvious, roll your eyes at tip out of every one that I have given you in this video, but I want you to truly think deeply about this because of one very, very important thing. And if you take nothing else out of this video, please take this with you. Doing what you told yourself you are going to do breeds self-confidence. It is the only thing that will allow you to have true, deep down, deeper than physical self-confidence is trust with yourself. If you don't have trust with yourself, if you are constantly breaking promises to yourself, you will have low self-confidence. So remember that when you are making those choices in the moment where it might feel really good to indulge in that food in the moment, but again, remember those goals that you've set for yourself and remember those promises that you've made to yourself. Chances are you probably knew that this event, this dinner date, this party was happening in advance, and the thought of food probably crossed your mind, especially again, if you are someone who has or does struggle with disordered eating. The thought of food crossed your mind and you probably told yourself before you got there, before you were in that present moment, what you were gonna do. You probably told yourself, I'll just order the salad. You probably told yourself, I'll stay away from the snack table. You probably told yourself, I'm just gonna have one drink tonight. And if you break those promises to yourself, the scale may not go up 5 pounds the next day and you may see no physical difference, but that will break your self-confidence. And over time, that repeated habit of those little promises that you break to yourself and those little cuts in your self-confidence can really add up. So I want you to keep that in mind. And also, overindulgence always leaves us physically feeling really crappy as well. This goes back to what I said earlier in the video about how you will feel mentally and physically about your choices. A lot of the time, that overindulgence can feel really good when it's physically going into our mouth, but literally within minutes of you finishing your meal, and especially hours in the next day, you feel slow, sluggish, torn down, and that is not a good feeling at all. So those are 5 of my mindset tips for eating outside of your kitchen during weight loss. I hope that they were helpful. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more mindset tips for weight loss or any other weight loss content that you would love to see from me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.